Hello, hello. Welcome back. This is part 2 to today's math video, okay? Now, inside that green outline triangle, you see a bit of a question. I'm going to read it out loud. It says, which number sentence correctly compares the two? So for each answer choice, you are provided two different numbers. Notice that they are in two different forms, okay? I'm going to get back behind the camera just so that some of the information on this board isn't confusing. So for example, right over here, yep, please ignore that. That was just going over the comparison symbol. It's just showing you that whenever the comparison symbol, and we like to think of, has two dots, it points to the greatest number. Similarly, if it has just one dot, it is pointing to the number that is lesser. And of course, the equal sign just represents two numbers that are equivalent. So that's kind of just what I wanted to point out. And that this information up here is just what you are responsible for completing as part of today's exit ticket. So please disregard the side notes. It's just the question here. I'm going to pause shortly and you're going to try to answer it, okay? Now, for the purpose of this pause, I'm going to take about 20 seconds to pause, but please stop this video, pause longer if you need to, so that you can practice answering this question, and so that whatever we're reviewing today is just adding to your understanding of reading, writing, comparing numbers, using the different forms, okay? So at this time, you're solving. The reason I'm not reading the answer choices is because I don't want to give off any information. I kind of want you to interpret the information as is. Okay, at this time, please pause your videos. Do not watch me reveal the answer. Do the work. All right. Now, I did want to jazz up today's math lesson a little bit, okay? And what I meant by this is I figured maybe, just maybe, we can start a little bit of an online raffle. So for every math lesson, you might find on your exit ticket, there is a code word or a secret word, or the word of the day, okay? We'll call it the word of the day. And you're gonna notice on your exit ticket, there's going to be a place. It's not gonna have any points, it's not going to weigh any points. It's just going to ask you what was the math word of the day. And today's math word of this day is the sign language for the sign love, okay? So when it asks you today on your exit ticket, what is the word of the day? You can answer saying love, okay? Now, I figured that would be a fun way because I know some friends, when they're answering their exit ticket questions, I don't know, I personally don't think it's your best work, just because I know how smart you are. And so I think if you were just to take a few minutes and watch our videos to their entirety, you might be able to show better understanding. And so I figured, why not? Exit tickets, friends who are able to answer this exit ticket, I'm going to insert your name in a bowl, which you'll see tomorrow morning. And we're going to add the names to the bowl, and at the end of the week, I'm going to pull out a lucky friend who is the winner of this week's math raffle, okay? Now you're asking, well, Miss Alberta, what am I going to get? That will disclose once I announce the winner. For now, just tune in. Alrighty, so I'm going to work through this problem, okay? Now again, I'm looking for the comparison statement. I'm looking for the comparison statement which shows an accurate answer of how two numbers are compared using these symbols. And so the first thing I want to do is I'm actually going to change my marker. So I want to show my work using a different color, and I hope it's dark enough for you guys. So the way I like to do this is I like to show the work under each answer choice. And I'm going to rewrite this number so that it is in the same form. So if I were to write 56,000. That means I have to add a comma. 25. Wait a minute. 25 is tricky. It's not 205. It's 25. That means in the hundreds place, there is no value. So I'm going to insert a 0 there. And then I'm going to write 25. Now, when I'm comparing two numbers side by side, I start by the largest place value. Yep, the same. Wait a minute. That's different. In the hundredths place, I have a 0. And in the hundredths place, I have a 2. And technically, this is telling me that this number is, again, 2 dots greater. And that is not true. So I'm going to slash and trash this answer choice. Okay, I'm going to continue on. Now again, notice that I said we want to compare by writing or rewriting the same form. I'm going to do that with my expanded form. Now when I have numbers in expanded form, there's different ways I can do this, right? I can stack the numbers, but honestly, my go-to method is just kind of like using the dash strategy, which means I look at the number or I look at the expanded form number and I make dashes for the number with the greatest value. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dashes. I also do the 1, 2, 3 comma rule, and I insert these numbers according to what their place value is. The 20,000, the 2 holds the 10,000th place value, and I insert it right over here. The 3 holds the thousands place value. I'll place the 3 right over here. The 7 holds the tens place. So it's actually not the 100, it's a tens place, and I'm going to insert that 7 here. But notice that the 9 and the 6 are both numbers that have the ones place value. So the value of 9 is simply 9, the value of 6 is simply 6. That's kind of tricky. And so when I really think of this number, it's kind of like saying, ouch, 9 plus 6 is 15. Wait a minute. And then this kind of gets combined. So technically, truthfully speaking, that becomes an 8. Something we haven't reviewed this school year, but just understand that we could kind of visually see that, no, these numbers are not equivalent right away, okay? However, if I wasn't sure, I could place a dot, come back to it later, right? All right, let's move on. Now I have 6,000, remember we always pronounce that thousands place, 715. If I look at my number, it says 6,715. Wait a minute, I think I have an answer. All right, yep. And you know what? This seems like an okay answer just because I wasn't sure, but now I want to get rid of it because I can totally see an answer right over here. But I'm going to continue working through the rest of this problem for accuracy, right? Just to make sure that there's no 2 answers, that there's just 1 answer possibly. Again, I'm going to look carefully. The comparison symbol's pointing to the right. It's telling me that this is greater than this. I'm going to rewrite the number. If I have, again, dash strategy, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. This number has 4 place values. I'm going to do the 1, 2, 3, comma me rule. Now notice I'm bringing back all the tips and tricks from the school year. All sounds familiar, and if I'm speaking too fast, I kind of tell myself, wait a minute, slow down. And I think that's what's happening right now. So I'm going to take a breather. Okay, just so that I can make sure that I'm giving you guys the chance to process this. And again, this time, if you haven't done the work, do it with me, please. Insert the numbers according to what place value they belong in, okay? So, 6 holds a thousandth place value. 9 holds a hundredth place value. Hope you're paying attention. No, it doesn't. It's upward. And this is a point that sometimes in class, even when I make mistakes, you kind of help me make those corrections, right? And so, no, 9 actually has that 10th place, okay? And if I look through, yep, it seems like 0 is in the hundredths place. But wait a minute, again, I'm coming across that same problem where it's telling me that 3 is also in the 10th place, and then lastly 6. So just by looking at this, right, we can kind of once again observe, wait a minute, whatever number this may be, if I want to really do the math, I can do like a little bit of a regrouping. 9 plus 3 is 12, and I carry over that 1, right? If it makes sense, I'm just going to cross this out for understanding. However, this is a perfect example where you could see that this is also a messy answer choice, one that if I really were to think through place values and their and comparing of numbers, we could see that the best answer choice was definitely C. Okay, but now if you had a little bit of a hard time doing this, I would say just to try it out on your own. And just think to yourself, like, wait a minute, where do I have that learning gap? Try to identify what is it that I need a little more work with, because today during office hours, I will own calling friends who just need a little support. And if we have more than a few number of friends, then we can always turn it into a hangout. But yeah, so now please just look over here again. Understand that today part of your exit ticket will ask you to enter 8 and 51 and packet 1, 8 and 51. And I believe there's also 2 additional questions that you can answer on your own today. All right. Well, that's the end for today. I can't wait for the friends who were tuning in to the word of the day or the math word of the day. And we'll see you next time.